Oh, yes. Welcome to a very special Doug in Exile. I've got a friend I got to introduce to you because, I'm a stock trader and I'm building out my retirement and, I've made some mistakes. So I got to make up for some lost time. I need to up my percentages. I'm going to show you guys a legal way to draft off of people like Nancy Pelosi that are doing suspiciously well compared to the rest of the world on the stock market. Government is facing this shutdown. This is loosely tied to the shutdown because Congress has not passed the annual spending bills or even a short-term extension to keep agencies funded. That is, you and I are starving and they're making dough, big money off AI companies that they're investing in. How do they know which AI companies are going to go up and which ones are going down? How come I can't guess the way they do and get their returns? Now, there's something very nefarious going on with the shutdown. What happens in this case is that Congress, this is on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, bad news for my people. The Republicans are in on it too. And they're keeping the government shut down. Some of them are for personal gain, and it's reflected in their stock portfolio. In the case of what, some ma and pa like Betsy, normal people like us, she can't even get her food stamps right now. And Nancy Pelosi, meanwhile, is making another 1,000% return on some investment. Have I piqued your curiosity yet? During government shutdowns, the congressmen are becoming richer. They trade in sectors and stocks that are directly affected by shutting the government down. Remember, they have all this insider information of what they intend to do. Members of Congress know what and when to take advantage of. How? Shutdowns trigger a distinct uptick in congressional stock trades. Why? You can see the spike on the chart. But otherwise, either Nancy Pelosi is a genius, and she doesn't appear to be much more than a drunk old lady with a pterodactyl wing stretched across a skeleton is what she looks like. We're going to go over some of her portfolio with my expert, Ross, that I'm about to bring on in a minute, who knows all this stuff forward and back. David Rouser, a Republican, got 149% return. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a Democrat, beating the market by 142%. The normal, my uncle used to tell me, put your money in the stock market. Since the Great Depression, it's made 11% a year. So why is Debbie Wasserman Schultz doing 142% a year? Dan, Eye Patch Crenshaw, Republican, 61%. That's beating the market, that 11% by quite a bit. And beloved Nancy Pelosi, 70% in 1 year, a return of investment. That's pretty good money, guys. Listen, this isn't a lot of stuff that I know. As you know, I'm a barely literate comic book artist here doing the news for you. I know enough to invest. I don't know where to put the money. So joining us today is my good friend, Ross Givens. He knows this world like nobody else. He's an expert on it. He knows exactly what these disgusting Congress people like Nancy Pelosi and CEO heads, insider trading where they're buying the stocks of their own companies. Ross is a 20-year veteran of the stock market. He worked as a broker. He's a fund manager. And I'm going to show you guys real quick a website that we've set up because he and I are doing an event coming up on Wednesday. It's a free event where you can just sign up. I'm going to show you the website real quick. Look at this. Fancy. Look at the website name is DougsInsiders.com. We're starting DougsInsiders.com. We're going to be on the inside scoop with Ross on what to do. And you can see there's a ticking clock on this screen and you can register. You're going to click this and you're going to register. There's information about the stock market showing the differences in gains on Nancy Pelosi's benefits, how she's beating the market.
As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And the reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024. And her
how does that work? Ross. Givens, welcome to the show. How does that work?
Well, it's funny, Doug. The stock market is the one place in the world that will make you money if you know anything anybody else doesn't. And when you have people in positions, whether they're politicians or corporate insiders, that know things about specific companies or government appropriation bills going out or piece of legislation going to affect a sector, that's going to have big impacts on the underlying stocks. And they know all of this stuff. Nancy's been doing this for nearly 20 years now. And yeah, 70% is pretty much on par with her. As Carolyn said, I mean, you don't make 180 grand a year and build up a $400 million war chest without bending the rules a little bit. And so I'll give you a really quick example of the kind of things she and other members of Congress do. So NVIDIA, we all know about NVIDIA. It's been the stock for the last year. It's up 10, 15 fold. Well, Nancy bought big into this back in 2022, not because she has some great insight, not because she's the AI knowledge base, but because she in Congress put together a bill known as the CHIPS Act. And what this did was give $52 billion in government subsidies to these American chip manufacturers. Now, we can debate whether it's the right thing to do to take your and my tax dollars and give them to billion-dollar companies later. But nonetheless, you know, when you do that, these stocks are going to rise. So 2 weeks before she passed this legislation, she went in with $1 million into NVIDIA. And Doug, she didn't just buy NVIDIA stock. She bought NVIDIA stock options, which are a highly leveraged short-term all-or-nothing bet. And so this gets passed, which of course she knew it would. She drafted, or at least contributed to drafting the damn bill. The stock shoots up. Her 1 million turned into 4 or 5. And so if you'd have told me the government was about to give $50 billion to NVIDIA and the crew, I'd have bought all the semiconductor stocks too. So they're just in that position to know this stuff. And when we see them going in, making these big, crazy, concentrated bets, it's usually indicative of them knowing something we don't, right?
I just want to know, how does she get away with it? Is it, what is the legality of it? How does she get away with it?
Well, it's a funny thing. You'd be surprised what you can get away with when you're the one that writes the laws. You know, they tease this stock trading ban. They've been doing it for decades. It's never passed. It never is going to pass unless the only thing they care about is threatened. And that's, of course, re-election. And this lady's been doing this for 16, 17 years. The crazy people of San Francisco re-elect her every year. So why would she stop doing it? You know, they passed something about a decade ago known as the Stock Act, trying to curb this, but it didn't stop it. But it gave you and me a big opportunity. And this is what I try to share with people they don't know. So the Stock Act didn't stop them from insider trading. What it did is make a requirement that they report these trades. So when they buy a stock or sell a stock, they are required to report that publicly.
Is that right away they have to report it?
So Congress gets up to 30 days. Some do it immediately, some wait. There's other insiders we follow that are corporate insiders. So like CEOs, CFOs, those people, they have to report pretty much right away. So they buy Tuesday, we know Wednesday. And so when you can see this stuff, when you can see what stocks they're buying with their own money in companies they know more about than anybody else, what they're really doing is kind of feeding you inside tips. And so with Congress, you mentioned Debbie Schultz earlier. So what she did, the reason she had that huge return last year, she bought this little stock called Rheinmetall. And here's what's weird about that one. Now, this is not a woman who buys a lot of stocks. Yeah. She hadn't bought any in like 3 years. And then suddenly the one stock she buys is Rheinmetall, this small German arms manufacturer. So like, if you came in and bought Google, I get it. If it's Amazon, everyone owns it. Who the hell owns Rheinmetall? Well, then you look and you see that Debbie Schultz just so happens to be on these congressional committees that award funding, that decide where the dollars are going for defense contracts, et cetera. They know about wars escalating in Europe. And so this stock goes up 160, 170% the first year she owns it. And so, you know, I've been doing this a long time, Doug. And let me tell you something, if I picked one stock in 3 years and the damn thing tripled in 11 months, I mean, there's the odds of that are so astronomical.
Yeah, you're a
And
genius. You'd be a
yeah,
genius
exactly.
if you guessed.
And
Oh,
so,
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, genius.
I mean, look at the woman, right? She's like a liberal arts major, I think. She's not a reformed Wall Street trader.
No,
Um,
I'm a similar dummy. I'm an art major too. I was a fine art major. I'm a painter and a comic book guy by trade. So I don't know enough about stocks. I've had good stocks, I've had bad stocks. Is there something where normal, because what we're putting together, I'm a normal guy and I want to put this thing together for normal people. And coming
yeah.
up this Wednesday, right? You're going to show us how to do it step by step at this free event. It's like a webinar. I will be there sitting in the audience. You're going to talk about it. Yeah, are you going to give us enough information where someone like me who knows almost nothing about financials but is in the market, can you help me and my people?
Yeah, and so here's how this started. So I launched a service we do for our members back in 2017, following insider trades, politicians, corporate insiders, and just looking for these standouts. These guys have never bought. Now 10 of them bought in the same week. What do they know? And we follow along. And we've beat the market every single year for the last 7 years straight. So it has worked pretty well. And so what we did last year is start saying, all right, let's host some training events, because people, I mean, everyone is furious about this insider trading stuff. They know it goes up, but nobody knows that you can profit from it. And so I'm like, look, we're paying Nancy's salary. The least we could do is get a couple stock tips off the old broad, right? So we hold these training events. It lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. And I show you where the databases are, where all this stuff is public. Anybody can access it. Senator trades, House Representative trades, insider trades for members of Congress, all SEC website, all there. And I just walk through the process. Most of our members have never bought a stock before. So I'm not going to be there talking about, PE ratio and margin trades and crap. At the end of the day, look.
You'll use dumb language so I understand.
we're going to keep it third grade level. But look, at the end of the day, Doug, you know this. A stock is simply a small ownership in a company. Yeah. If that company sells more stuff and makes more profits, it's going to go up. If they sell less, and it's going to go down. So what drives these stocks, at least the big quick moves, are these unexpected pieces of good news. Oh, they just got a $2 billion government contract. Pelosi bought this tiny little AI stock back in January. Thing shoots up 100 and something percent in 30 days. Well, what do you know? One of the C-suite executives at Tempest AI just so happened to be somebody she used to work with in DC. So it's like, but anyway, we show people how to do this, what to look for, what to look out for. I show dozens of examples, real simple. Here's the stock. Here's all these guys buying. A couple weeks later, this happens. We don't take big risks. Like I show people how to do like what we call sell stop orders. We're like, hey, if it goes down 15%, I'm out. That's all. Maybe it wasn't right this time. But we've gotten stocks that have doubled, tripled. We got into one that went up 1,900% in 2 years.
Yeah.
Just following this stuff. And so what I try to show people, and look, I'm anything but a snake oil salesman. Please don't take this as it's the cheat code. Every stock's going to go straight up. There's no such thing. We all know that. But if you get even a couple of these a year that go up 2, 3, 4, 500%, it's a big needle mover for you, right? I mean, if you've got
I'll take it.
If you got 5% of your account into a stock that goes up 300%, your whole account went up 10%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, to my audience, you guys know I do not get involved with snake oil salesmen. I'm very protective of my audience, but I am personally going to go in and do some experiments. But the actual training thing, the actual event where you get to see, where he's going to tell you all about the methods of it, it's free. And the beloved Miss Tenaple and I are going to learn. And just that information alone, I need that education. And that the actual seminar is free. We want you guys to sign up for it. You should click the link in the description right now. You'll see the link. It says DougsInsiders.com. That'll take you to that website that has the ticking clock on it to when the event goes live. And we'll all be sitting there on the web together. And Ross is going to put on a show for us and teach us step by step how to do it. That is Wednesday, November 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's completely free, and you'll be absolutely blown away by Ross, who's very entertaining at this stuff. and it's going to be easy for us. That's why I'm all about this. You know how I hate elites, guys, and I hate unfairness. But I also like the idea, if they're doing it and it is legal and the information's out there, then I say, why not us benefit, at least from the knowledge, even if you don't buy into the whole thing, at least from the knowledge. I want to know how it's done, because it's going to affect the way that not only that I do my retirement, guys, I mean, my stock trading. This is about my retirement. I got to make up for lost times for some bad investments like NFTs that I did a few years ago.
They got you in the NFTs, huh?
So Ross, yeah, they did. They got me good.
I was going to tell you one more thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, Doug, but anybody who signs up, one thing what I'm going to do, we're going to send out our most recent stock pick to everybody who registers. So even if you can't attend live, put your email in. We'll send that to you. It doesn't cost you anything, but I'll show you all the research, which insiders are buying, what the stock is, what's going on. And I think it's going to be really eye-opening when you see just what's available to you. So even if you can't come, put your email in. We'll send you the recording, watch on your own time. But I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised and at what's available to them.
Wow. Thanks so much, Ross. This is going to be great. Gang, you heard it. The link below, DougsInsiders.com. We're just starting this out. There'll be a place right there where you put your email in, and Ross sends you a pick that he wants to tell you about, just to show that he's an honest actor. And until then, guys, I'll see you guys Wednesday at the seminar. I'll be sitting there in the office, in the audience. I'm Doug in Exile.